Welcome back, kiddos. This is part 2 of our irregular verbs series. Remember that last week when we were looking at our verbs, we looked at what a regular verb is, which ends in ed, to show the past tense. So generally we just have our present tense, we add ed to it, and suddenly we have a past tense. That's a regular verb. Remember though, our irregular verbs don't follow this ed rule. And so sometimes they can get frustrating because there's a lot of different irregular verb rules. All right, let's look at this week's. The first one we have is the EW rule. If there's an EW in the past, then when it becomes a past participle, it gets a WN. I'm going to show you some examples so this will make sense. But remember, first of all, when we talk about the past participle, that's that past form of the verb if we have like a have or a has or a had in front of it. All right, let's look at our chart. So when we have a verb that gets an EW in the past tense, right here, then its past participle would get the WN. So like the wind blows in the summertime. Oh, in the summertime, it blew. Oh, the wind had blown the balloon away. Again, those past participles get that have, has, or had in front of them, so you can see that different form of the verb. But the biggest thing about this is that our EWs become WNs. Now notice that a lot of these also have a W at the end except for fly, because fly is just irregular, it just wants to do its own thing. But most of these have the W, so that'll give you a good clue to use the EW in the past. All right, let's look at what's next. There are a few irregular verbs that don't change at all between its base form, its past form, or its past participle form. They just stay the same, no matter what. And so, because they stay the same no matter what, I'm just going to move on. Okay, then we get the highly frustrating ones. The ones that just change a ton in between their base form, their past form, and their past participle. Like do becomes did becomes done. Go, which is similar to do, then becomes went, and then becomes gone, which is similar to done. But the past is not anywhere near the same. Then we have one of my favorites. Be becomes was and were. I don't know why, but that's the form that they take. And then it becomes been. Then we have these two are very similar. Wear, wore, worn, tear, tore, torn. And then we get this funky one. Lie becomes lay becomes lain. Do any of these make sense? Not a whole lot. They're irregular verbs, and this is a history worth of words that have changed throughout our English language, and some have just stuck this way in their irregular forms as they've come from other languages, or if they came from the Anglo-Saxon version of the language before the Normans invaded in 1066. It completely changed all of our verbs. You know, some of these held on, and so we get the irregular rules. Anyway, all of that to say, I know it could be frustrating. I know they could change a lot, but this is our list. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you off right now, and I'll catch you next week. See ya.